Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. It is completely free to subscribe. Would love to have you as part of my crafty family. Now in today's tutorial, you're going to be getting a free template that's going to help you make these really fun motel keychains. I'm going to show you two ways to do this, and you're going to find the link to get your free template down below in the video's description. And these are so easy to make. I made one myself, and then I took one and kind of redesigned it a little bit from an SVG. And I'll link that one down below, and I'll link the hotel keychains down below as well. These are really, really fun to do. You can make them with all sorts of different designs. These make great little gifts. You could use them as gift tags. They're also fun to hang from like the back of your car mirror. So lots of ways to use these. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to upload our little template first. So I'll show you to do that. You're going to click upload image and you're going to either browse for it or drag and drop your file. I'll browse, and it's going to be called Motel Keychain Template. Go ahead and click that and it's going to bring up this design. Now this is an SVG and it does have two layers because it's going to have the template and then the information. So I'm going to click continue and then just click upload, and it's going to put this into our Cricut design space. Now, like I said, this is two layers. So you have one layer that is your information, which is your text, and then another layer, which is your motel keychain. I always add that text because sometimes it doesn't always upload the right size in Cricut design space. So what you'll do is you're going to ungroup your design. You can right click on it and choose ungroup up here at the top. I want to double check the sizing of my keychain. Now this is the correct size at 1.75 inches and 2.63. I'll get the sizing right. So as long as it's uploaded correctly, you don't need to change anything. But if you do, you can change your sizing up here at the top. Then just go ahead and delete that text. That text again is just there to help you if your design space doesn't upload it the correct size. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So now that we have this in here at the right size, now I am using the keychains from Hobby Lobby. So you'll want to double check your keychain, make sure it's the same size, but I've noticed most of them are pretty much the same. Now from here, we can upload a design that we want to use, and I'll even show you how to design your own. I want to use this My Driving Scares Me Too design, and we're going to go ahead and click download. And then all we have to do is save this into our motel keychain folder and click save. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to open up the folder you just downloaded, and you need to extract all and click extract. That way you can use the image. Otherwise it won't upload into Cricut Design Space. Now, just like we did the keychain for the motel template here, we're going to click upload, upload image, and then we'll browse for our file. I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop it, and I'm going to make sure to use the SVG for this, and you can see that it uploads. Now, if it looks a little blurry, don't worry. That's just Cricut Design Space. It'll upload just fine. And it's going to upload here into your Cricut design space. Now you notice this one is rather large. It's too big currently to fit. So what you're going to do is you're going to size this to fit onto your motel keychain. So I'm just going to get this so that it fits here on the design. Now you can really make this as big or as small as you want to, just so long as it fits within your design will be fine. So this one looks good. I think we're good to go. So I'm going to scooch this over and I'm going to move that. And I don't know why I moved the other one, but whatever, you get the general idea. Now we're going to kind of make our own design so that we can, just see how to make our own. It's really, really fun. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my text box. And for this one, let's go ahead with Girls Hit Curbs. Now I may change this up a little bit as we design just to see kind of our fonts and things like that, but you can put any text that you want to on this. So have fun with it. Now I am going to change our font. So I'm going to click the font selection and I'm going to go to system. Now I do prefer to use my system fonts for these. I just think they look nicer. I just prefer the vibes of my system fonts. And then I just sort of click through and see if there's a font that I like. I think I'm going to go with the first one I selected just because that's one of my favorites. But sometimes I just like to look and see if there's anything else that maybe catches my vibe a little bit more. But let's go with the first one we selected. And I will link this down below. This is Awesome Everyday, and I absolutely love this. This is actually a duo font. So it comes with Awesome Everyday caps, and then it also comes with the script font. Now, what's fun with this is we can take and warp this if we want to. we can really do a lot with it. But one thing I'm going to tell you, notice how it's hidden behind my little warp thing. You can move this off to the side, or you can move your font, whichever works best for you. And then you can kind of play with it. Now, I will say that some fonts are going to work better than others with the warping. You can see if we warp this too much, it's really hard to read. So you can kind of play with it and see. But what's fun is you can adjust your warp. So if you just want it a little warped or don't want it warped at all, whatever you want to do with it. And it, like I said, it may not work for every font. I don't think we're going to warp these. I just don't love it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and just not warp it. Now I am going to go ahead and use the combine option and unite these just so that I don't see those little lines in it. It won't cut with the little lines, but I just feel like I don't like seeing them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of get this where I want it on the design and just see if I like it and if I think that it does what I want it to do. And I think it's cute. So we'll go ahead with that. Now it is a little small here. So if you want to make it a little bigger, you can just zoom in on it and that might make it easier for you to see. And you can always change the color of your template to match your hotel key. And that might help you pick out a design or a color or whatever it may be. Mine's kind of a teal color, but I don't totally care. So I'll just make it green so you can see it. Now we can add little designs to this if we want to. We can either grab things from Cricut Design Space, but be careful because you don't want to use anything if you're going to sell this that you can't legally sell, which I'll link the angel policy video down below for you. But you can also grab things from places like Creative Fabrica, or you can even take things from over here. And if you want to use these flowers, you could use those again as well. It's really up to you and how you want to do this. I think I'm just going to add a few little shapes. I think let's do some stars. Now you have, of course, the free items, and those you can definitely sell physical items with. But then you have these ones, which are paid items if you have Cricut Design Space access, and you can sell your physical items with those as well. But I think we're just going to use this plain star. I think this will be really cute. I think it'll work for kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to size it down a little bit. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put one there. And I'm going to duplicate that and put one on the other side. And then maybe we'll duplicate and we'll do one down here, duplicate again, and we'll do one here. I wish I could figure out, and I haven't really tried, but I wonder if there's a way to turn off these stupid guides. They're driving me crazy. I can't stand them. They're so annoying. They get in the way. They make it so I can't move stuff the way I want to move stuff. Just very annoying. So let's take a look and see, can we turn those off? I'm going to go under my settings, and I'm going to see here under general. There's nothing there. Nothing under content. Nothing under machines, but maybe under canvas. Yes. So here you have a snap to align. I'm going to turn that off because it's really, really annoying. Now I should be able to move these much more organically, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So once I'm happy with the design that I have personally created, I can take my little motel keychain template here and hide it. And then I want to select all of this and I want to attach it by using this little paper clip. That'll hold it all together so that Cricut Design Space knows I want it cut in that exact order. Now you can make as many or as few of these as you want, and you can actually do colors, all sorts of things. So let's say we want to maybe do this one with 2 different colors. I'm going to show you how to do that since this is just a single layer item. What we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this design. We're going to go over to the pencil and we're going to choose contour. I want to hide everything that is a letter for this. So I'm just going to click on all the letters, and you want to click on all the pieces. So the dots are the eyes and the center of the letters. And what this is doing is it's hiding all of this part of the design so that when we come back through, you'll see that we'll only have left the little flowers. So now that I've clicked all the letters, if you look, now all I have left are the little flowers. So let's change the color on those. We'll make those yellow. And then I want to take this one and I'm going to contour. And this time I'm going to get rid of all of the flowers. And I can just do that by clicking away the centers. Now you'll notice that that little zoom in feature got in the way. I had to zoom out a little bit so that I could in fact click the correct piece of my design because it was in the way of the dot. That's one thing about the contour feature that I don't always love, is sometimes that little zoom feature gets in the way. And now we have this, and we can make this, again, any color that we want to. Now, these may not be the colors I stick with since my design is going onto teal, but this gives you an idea of what that's going to look like. So I can duplicate this if you want to see it against my driving scares me too. And there you go. Now you kind of get an idea of what your little motel keychains are going to look like. Now, before I do anything else, I always like to hide these because we don't want it to cut that. And I'm going to save my design, and I'm going to save it as motel keychain. Ooh, not like that, we're not. Motel keychain, and click save. I always save before I hit the make button. That way, just in case anything decides to go wrong, we're good to go. Now we're going to hit make, and it's going to bring us up 3 different mats. Now these projects are perfect for some vinyl scraps because they really don't take much. About a 3x2 square will do for the girls hit curbs. You only need about a 2x2 square for the little red part, and then just about a 1.5x2 or by 3 for your little daisies. Now we're going to cut these with some StarCraft HD, and I'm going to show you a great way to weed these because they are really small with really small details, which can be a little difficult. So I'm going to show you a trick to weeding these. So let's head over to the machine and get them cut out. We're ready to cut out our vinyl. Now, like I said, this is the perfect little scrap project. So I've got kind of a random shaped piece of some StarCraft HD that we're going to use, and then I've got some other kind of random shaped pieces. We're going to do purple, pink, and black. So I'll get this all cut out, and then I'm going to show you a trick to weeding. So these are pretty small designs, but let's go ahead and try to weed the black one the traditional way, which would just be to weed the vinyl off of it. My pen apparently didn't want to grab the vinyl. Now, StarCraft HD is one of my favorites, and it does such a good job even with small designs. And I think it did a really good job with this one. But this one's a lot easier. It's a thicker font. It's a thicker design than our other one. Let me get this letter center out. And this teeny tiny one. So that one obviously was very easy, but these ones are really, really tiny. So let's use a quick little trick called reverse weeding. I'm going to use some Style Tech transfer tape. This is part of the roll that I cut off the other day. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to weed these. I'm going to put them right directly onto the transfer tape. And I think I might move this one over a little bit just because there's a rip right here. I'm going to cut this off of the transfer tape. And like I said, I didn't weed anything because this is called reverse weeding. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take, and I do burnish this real quick just from the back. This one is the little flowers, and I see that I have a spot that doesn't have transfer tape, so I'll cut a little piece of transfer tape and put it over that. That happens sometimes. Wasn't paying attention. And then this is the one that has the words on it. So again, I'll just burnish that from the back. Now, when I go to peel this off, I'm going to try to grab the backing of the vinyl and the large piece of vinyl, which is like your full vinyl backing. So if you see, I'm grabbing both parts. I'm going to put this on the table to do this and pull back. And what you should see is that your design will stay on to your transfer tape. Now, you might have some spots that might stick, so you'll need to go slow, but it should, with any luck, come off really, really nice and clean. Now, I'm going to do this on purpose because you see I missed a spot here. There's an R that's right there that's stuck. If that happens, go ahead, take your page, and you want to press that back down. And you're just going to pull back again. And this time, you'll notice that that R stayed down. So you just need to go slow. This is no different than when you normally weed, that you would want to go slowly. But I'm just going really slow. Now you'll notice that the letter centers are staying down, and that's okay. no big deal. And you'll see here, I'm going to go pretty slow on the M there because I did have a little trouble with the one at the bottom. But look at that. All of our letters have stayed down. Now, you can take your letter centers out now if you wish to. That's one option. I don't always love doing that because I do find it a little difficult. So let's leave those letter centers in and we'll come right back to that one. But now we want to go and do the one here that has the flowers. So you'll do the same thing. You're going to pull back the vinyl and your backing, and you're going to pull back to get the design, which are these little itty bitty flowers, to come off, but to stay on to your transfer tape. I have one flower again that didn't stick, so I'm just going to go back, press it down with my finger, and now it stayed down. So you just kind of need to go slow with it and make sure that all the parts of your design stay down. Now up here, it doesn't seem like it's stuck as well as I would have wanted, so I'm going to go ahead and burnish this again. And again, I'm just going to peel this back just to get all those little flowers because they're tiny. These are so small. Look at that. And they do have the letter set or the little centers in a couple of them still. So we'll do the same thing when we apply this one, the purple one. So first, let's start with the little simple one that is the Girls Hit Curbs. I do have everything weeded out. I always double check. And again, I'm going to grab a piece of transfer tape. And I always just like to use like a piece I've already used or like one that's just left over. So this piece is perfect. This is the perfect little thing for any scraps, including transfer tape scraps. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish this down. And I'll flip it over and I'll burnish it again from the back. Sometimes using a scrap of transfer tape, you just need to give it a little extra oomph. And now we will peel the backing away from the tape, and all your stuff should stay stuck with any luck. Look at that. Perfection. Now we're going to place this on to our motel keychain. You can use parchment paper or whatever you may have if you want to try to like get this perfect. I will say, woo, I dropped it. I will say that it is a little difficult because this causes it to like not sit fully flat. So just be aware that it will kind of wiggle around a little. But what I like to do is I hold it with my fingers kind of under where the transfer tape is till I get it lined up where I want it. And then I go ahead and press it down. Now, burnishing this with your squeegee, not super easy because it does have some of these little like divots. So I just use the very corner of my squeegee and I go around and I make sure I get everything. Now this is plastic, so your vinyl should want to stick to this pretty darn easily. And look at that, it is so cute. I love it. It came out really, really good. So pretty. Hopefully it like will focus on that. I don't know, sometimes it does. I'll give you a better view when I'm done here. Now, we're gonna go and start with, I think we'll start with the flowers because those go around the design versus the other way. And I don't remember which way the flowers go. I feel like the smaller ones are at the top. Yes, okay. So what I'm gonna do is get this lined up where I want it and move it up just a little. And again, I'm gonna go in and press down with my finger. And they should honestly stick with just your finger if you don't want to use your squeegee, but let's find out. Oh yeah, they stuck perfectly. Perfection. Look at that. Oh, that's going to be so cute. The colors together, adorable. And now we're going to put this one down, remembering that we do have the centers of the letters still there. And don't worry, we're going to address that just a second. So again, I'm going to use my finger and press this all down. And it looks bad right now because we do the centers. Don't worry, don't fret, we'll be there. And I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. Oop, I lost the eye. Let's go ahead and press that back down. Sometimes when you're doing this, you might lose a letter. And if it's starting to like get a little lettery, like your letters are popping up, just use your squeegee. And we'll just go through and pull this off, making sure everything stays stuck. Now you might end up with a couple of the letter centers that come out, and that's cool, like less we have to weed. But the reason I didn't want to weed on the transfer tape is sometimes it makes it really hard to get these itsy bitsy pieces off. So a lot of times just doing it on the blank is so much easier. And honestly, you're not going to scratch it, so I wouldn't worry too much. Now I will say this is easier to do with a pin pen versus the like hooked one, and sometimes you'll get little pieces that want to like roll around, but this is super simple once it's on here to just remove these letter centers rather than trying to do it while it's on the tape. I'm just going to go ahead and pop these off. Oh, this one's giving me a little trouble. It's my pen more so than anything. And we're good. They're so cute. All right, let me get you a good up-close view of these because they are absolutely darling. Here are the finished keychains. These came out so great, and using that reverse weeding hack makes everything so much easier. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. And be sure to check out all the links to all the products I used in the video's description. This is a really fun project, and I hope that you'll try it out as well. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.